On a global level, the home care industry increased by around 4% in 2009, which is lower than in the previous year. However, given the economic downturn, it was still quite an impressive performance. However, when we drill down a little bit deeper and look at the performance of particular regions, we will be able to see huge differences. For example, Latin America increased by 10%. Africa and Middle East increased by 9%, but when we look at the developed regions of North America and Western Europe, we are able to see that these regions performed close to zero, with North America falling even into negative territory. When we look at the performance of the top 30 growth markets, all of them are actually emerging economies. And out of these markets, China turned to be the biggest growth contributor to the global sales, with sales growing by around $700 million in just 1 year. And this is a huge figure for just one country to achieve in just 1 year. Out of the developed economies, UK actually performed relatively well with 2% growth rate. And the main growth contributor to this growth rate was quite positive performance of the laundry care category, and especially the concentrated liquid detergent category. Out of all home care categories, air care was the one that suffered the most from the economic downturn. When we look 5 years back, air care achieved 6% growth and was actually the most dynamic home care category. However, last year, this growth was only 1%. And the reason is that air care is mostly very heavily reliant on developed economies, which, as we already know, were very hard hit by the crisis. Air care products, air fresheners, tend to be retailed at quite high price points. And at the same time, they are not considered as necessity products by consumers. So in times where consumer budgets are squeezed, air fresheners would be the first types of products to go out from the consumers' shopping baskets. Private label was indeed one of the categories that grew even stronger during the economic downturn. And it is true that private label did increase in sales even before the economic downturn, but within home care, we could see a very strong acceleration of the growth, particularly in the countries hardest hit by the crisis. For example, in Spain, just in 1 year, in 2009, private label increased its share from 25% to almost 30%, which is a huge increase in just 1 year. Basically, in Spain, the country with unemployment reaching 20%, which is the highest out of all European Union countries, price went straight to the top of the priority list for the consumers when purchasing home care products. At the moment, Western Europe is the leading region globally in terms of home care value sales. However, this situation is expected to change by 2014, when Asia Pacific will overtake Western Europe and become the largest region globally. In terms of the country performance, US is expected to remain the largest market for home care products. However, there are some more changes expected in the top 10 countries ranking. For example, China is forecasted to move to the number 2 spot, dethroning Japan. And Russia is expected to jump a couple of places up as well, ahead of some Western European countries, including Germany and the UK. So the underlying message here is that although at the moment developed countries still account for majority of home care sales, the future opportunities lie within the emerging BRIC countries and the second-tier markets, and this is what manufacturers should be focusing on.